is that I went through some traumatic stuff in the police force, and that gave me the post traumatic stress kind of baggage that I had to deal with. And then, of course, as you well know, losing my wife to cancer was probably and still is one of my biggest lifelong challenges. And I didn't think it was going to be that difficult, but it's difficult. That's probably the best way to describe it. Is that you, every day you wake up and you're thankful that you woke up and can put both feet on the floor, but then there's all this other stuff around you that you know different. I had a friend that called me here just earlier this week, I guess it was, and a family member had passed away, and they're you could tell they were reaching. They weren't sure if they should ask or if they should what they should do, and there's just so much of that going on that every time you turn around, somebody has passed away, and you can just see the pain and suffering in their eyes that they're trying to say, I hope there's a shortcut I can take. And you having the experience, you know that that's not the case.
Exactly. And I think there's variations on the levels of trauma. It's traumatic to lose anyone in any way, shape, or form. That's just a fact. Even though death is happens every day, I don't think I would ever characterize it as normal. It's not something that you I just don't think it's something that should be considered normal. That's just personal opinion. But it happens. It does happen every day. But we're not really equipped to deal with that, and we all have our various beliefs and so on and so forth. And this is not what this program is about, and I'm not going to go that direction ever. But it's traumatic to lose a family member, even if you're not there when it happens. It's traumatic to lose, even worse traumatic when they die in your arms. I recently, in my day job, I deal with a lot of sick people in various situations, and I had a lady, and I felt so bad for her because she literally was so traumatized because her husband did die in her arms. I think she gave him like CPR. She did everything a person could do to try to, but it was unexpected and horribly traumatic for her. And I hope that I was able to help her in some capacity. The truth is, I'll probably never know, but
True.
I
Yeah.
hope, and I hope that she did find some kind of counseling or something out there to help her to process that from whatever source. Um, and I forget why we went down that road. That's just me being me. But you look like you've got a thought.
Yeah. Well, I went through that where um, being the stubborn male, letting my ego take control of everything. I was more, well, I'm just going to have to deal with this, and it took me a long time to sort of number one recognize the fact that I did need help, and then number two was where am I going to get that help from? Because a lot of the people that I knew, I just didn't see them being able to have the capacity to actually help, and I ended up seeing a counselor, more, I guess she would be a counselor, social worker. And like I dealt with stuff, and it seems kind of foolish now, but I couldn't drive past the hospital where Deborah passed away because it brought back, brought back those memories. And it took a while for us to try some different types of therapies and stuff like that to be able to get us to a stage where I could actually drive past the hospital and not break down and cry.